Welcome into another video in my series where I'm going through and testing all the weapons inside of Modern Warfare 3 to see how viable these weapons are for us to be using inside of our Zombies game mode. This is going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, as well as the MW2 weapons. So if you're new around here and you like everything Call of Duty Zombies, make sure you are subscribed with those bell notifications turned on so you're not going to miss out any future uploads from myself. As well, down below in the description you will find the link for my streams. I stream on Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I stream a ton of custom zombies and other zombie related games. Generally have a ton of fun over there and would love to see you all come and hang out. Now in today's video, we're going to dive into a weapon from MW2 that I just have rarely used at all since the launch of MW3. And if I remember properly, this weapon inside of MW2 hit really hard. So we're going to take a look at a battle rifle today, the FTAC RECON from MW2. We're going to be taking that through all three tiers, taking on bounty contracts all the way through. So hopefully by the end of today's video, you have a good feel for how the FTAC RECON performs inside of our Zombies game mode, and by the end of the video, whether or not it's going to be a viable option for you to be using inside of your Zombies game mode. Now before we dive straight into the review for the FTAC RECON, I definitely want to give a big thank you to everybody and mention that we are fast approaching our next Black Ops 6 giveaway, which happens when the channel hits 4,000 subscribers. And as of recording this video today, we are under 150 subscribers to go, so closing in so very fast, and I could not be happier to be able to give back as my channel grows. So now, without further ado, let's get to the FTAC RECON review video today. Welcome into another video. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We're going to be having a look at a battle rifle today, the FTAC RECON from MW2. We've got the synthwave blue camo on there from the Get Higher event, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. So we're going to be looking to keep that blueprint and camo combination on the weapon for today's run. And when I spawn in here and do all of my weapon testing, we put on our perks with no additions to the weapon to get started. So you're not looking at pack-a-punch, you're not looking at a tool to increase damage or an ammo mod whatsoever. And we go and grab our first bounty contract of the day, and we go and take this on at white rarity to see just how well this weapon performs at base. Now our first bounty contract today inside of tier 1 was a mimic. Now there's a couple things I do want to point out with this FTAC RECON. As you'll notice, before you pack a punch it, just the base, the max magazine size you can get is 15. So with this weapon right off the hop, I do want to recommend, if you have a mags of holding to use and you want to go ahead and use this weapon, I would recommend you use mags of holding. Just because the magazine size is so small, and that can be definitely an issue inside of Zombies in the higher threat levels, as you'll spend a lot of time reloading. So I just wanted to point that out before we complete our first bounty contract of the day inside of tier 1. Now I could already tell that the damage output on this battle rifle was substantial just at base. I was really impressed with seeing the damage output just at a base rarity, you know, white with absolutely nothing on it. So that was impressive. So it was straight to pack-a-punch. If you're new to the game, melee the machine, wait for it to turn green like that, and then go ahead and use the pack-a-punch machine or your PAP crystals to keep your camo on for the rest of your run. Now the next thing to do was pick up another bounty contract inside of tier 1 and go ahead and take this on at base rarity. No ammo mods and no legendary tool or anything on this FTAC RECON, just pack-a-punch. Excuse me. And I could tell a dramatic difference in the damage output just by going off and visiting Pack-a-Punch. We were able to finish off our second bounty contract of the day in just under 3 magazines. I mean, I just cracked the second one and put a couple shots into him and finished it. So that was awesome to see. So now I was kind of eager to see what this can do at max damage inside of tier 1, being pack 1 legendary with my ammo mod Shatter Blast on it, and see, are we going to be able to virtually instant delete this final bounty contract inside of tier 1. I had a pretty good feeling that we were definitely going to be able to do that, as seeing how this weapon had performed earlier inside of tier 1, dealing with our first bounty at just white rarity and then our second bounty at only pack-a-punch. So I was eager to get into the fight here and see what we could do, and definitely not disappointed at all. Less than a magazine, which is amazing. Once you pack-a-punch this, your ammo capacity in your magazine will double, so it goes up to 30. which is, you know, not horrible, but it's definitely, in my opinion, not nearly enough in one magazine for the higher threat levels. So seeing how well performed on our last bounty inside of Tier 1, I wanted to move into Tier 2 and take on a Tier 2 bounty contract without adding any extra damage to the weapon whatsoever, and just keep it where it was inside of Tier 1 at Pack 1 Legendary. And I could already, you know, when I'm first engaging our bounty inside of Tier 2 here at Pack 1, I could see the damage output was substantial on this battle rifle inside of Tier 2 on a bounty, which was really awesome to see. It's nice to be able to come into Tier 2 or Tier 3 and be a pack level below and still have that weapon be a viable option. So I was really excited there. Time to go off and visit Pack Punch inside of Tier 2 to increase our damage output one more time on this battle rifle. And then it was time to track down our last bounty contract inside of Tier 2. Now, seeing how our final bounty performed in Tier 1 at Pack 1 Legendary with an ammo mod, I was really eager to get to this bounty contract and see just how well this battle rifle would perform at Pack 2 Legendary inside of Tier 2, and I was not disappointed at all. We took one magazine and virtually got half of the health down on our bounty contract inside of Tier 2, and then we just kind of stood there and barrel stuffed our Mimic to finish him off inside of Tier 2. So definitely this battle rifle hits really hard. The damage rate is definitely up there. I did find when I was trying to build this weapon, this is where I'm kind of hoping down in the comment section we can all work together, as the FTAC Recon has just an awful lot of recoil control to deal with when using this weapon. So the build I made today for this video was aimed to try and eliminate as much as that recoil as possible on the weapon to make it shoot as close to laser straight as I possibly could. So seeing how it performed, I was feeling really good. Like, I wanted to go into Tier 3, I wanted to grab the rest of my perks from the Wonder Fizz machine and see just what this battle rifle can do inside of Tier 3. Now, after visiting Wonder Fuzz, I always make my way over to this ritual to see if it has been activated, and unfortunately in this match Tier 3 had been busy for most of the match, so I didn't expect it to be here. But I wanted to take this opportunity and show you guys how it handled crowd control inside of Tier 2, except my crowd had a whole different idea. I'm not sure what happened. I'm assuming maybe a player threw a monkey bomb, because they all just completely took off. So I was like, all right, let's go and grab an active horde that will follow me and show you guys what this weapon can do in Tier 2, dealing with crowd control. That was ADS. You can see it dish out the damage. Here we are looking at it in attack stance, definitely able to dish out the damage. And then in hip fire, I find it is a little bit harder to control this FTAC Siege with the recoil on hip fire, but I do... Out of those three modes, my personal favorite is the ADS. As you can see, it just makes things a lot easier to control and aim. But you can see the damage we are dishing out here at Pack 2 inside of Tier 3 to the crowd control is, you know, pretty substantial. You can see on screen just how easy that was to be able to handle that crowd. So the next thing to do was throw on PAP 3 Crystal and repeat the process. Go ahead and grab another crowd and see how PAP 3 handles crowd control. And I was expecting this to be, you know, much more effective than it was a second ago, as we've now increased the damage output on this battle rifle to maximum damage output in the game with PAP 3 Legendary and an ammo mod equipped on the weapon. And I mean, you can see on screen, we are definitely able to handle crowd control inside of Tier 3 without a struggle at all. So, you know, definitely awesome to see another weapon that we can be using inside of our game modes. And if you guys like battle rifles, this is definitely one that you can use. It does, you've got a core single fire with the battle rifle, but the FTAC Recon is one that does become fully automatic, which is definitely something I feel is important. You know, my playstyle, I definitely prefer fully automatic weapons that allow me to move quickly and are able to be, you know, heavy hitters. That's kind of something I really look forward to. Now, I wanted to show you this entire fight here with Zhorde, except for me climbing over the gateway to get some space. I didn't feel like you guys needed to watch that. But the zombies in our spot here are getting smart. They flanked me completely. I was not expecting that. So I don't know if that spot's going to be as viable anymore, as the zombies now are piling in from behind, which wasn't the greatest thing ever. Zhorde was here firing up his laser attack, but I was in no position to stand and dish out some damage. We had a disciple in the area. I still had a ton of crowd control to deal with before I was able to focus fire in on Zhorde. But this weapon performs extremely well inside of tier 3. It dishes out a ton of damage. That is something that is 100% for sure. We had to reposition as that corner spot was definitely not working out at all. So we moved up here to the top of the staircase to, you know, continue to try and dish out the damage. The amount of crowd control I had to deal with, though, before I was able to get in and focus fire on Zhorde was pretty remarkable. I was astonished just how much riffraff, you know, was in the area when I went to engage Zhorde. We had Mangler show up later. There was a disciple in the area. There was a ton of zombies. Zhorde was letting out his crawlies at an insane rate. So the stairs were almost virtually electrified the whole time, which was crazy. But I just wanted to show you guys so you can see just how well this weapon handles, you know, just about every situation inside of tier 3. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I want to provide you guys with an opportunity to see, you know, just how well this weapon performs, whether it's something that suits your play style, if it's going to be a viable option for you to be using. So I want to show you guys as much you know, gameplay in all situations as possible, which is the reason why you are seeing this entire Zhorde fight and me handling, you know, everything that was being thrown at me as I was trying to dish out the damage and get the crowd control down to a manageable amount so that I could fire up some damaging shots into Zhorde here. And I was waiting for him to come over, but Zhorde was having none of it today. He's like, yeah, I'm not coming over there. I know exactly what happens when I come over to that staircase. And I'm not doing that anymore. It is not happening. Z, I have learned you can stand there all you want, and it's not going to do you any good. So we had to push forward to get Zhorde to engage, which was kind of funny because he was just refusing to come over to the staircase today. I thought that was too funny. But this is another good spot if you guys have decoys or you've managed to, you know, tone down the riffraff. You can take Zhorde over to these picnic table areas. And he won't be able to get through the picnic table, so he tends to fire up his laser attack a lot more frequently right here, which allows you to get in the critical shots and complete your bounty contract much faster, or take out Zhorde if he's in the area much quicker. So we went back up to the picnic table area here, and I'm trying to get Zhorde to constantly fire up his laser attack at me so I can finish it off, but he decided he just wasn't cooperating today. Like, Zhorde was being stubborn. I don't know if it's Stubborn Tuesdays for Zhorde or something, but he was just not in the mood to fight or engage today at all. It was hilarious. But we managed to push through and finish off Zhorde, our guardian of the arches, right there. So definitely a viable option. Like, I felt comfortable in all situations you saw dealing with Zhorde. You know, the crowd control. I didn't really feel like I was going to be under any serious stress. I'm definitely able to dish out the damage to what's in front of me, so I have that confidence using this weapon inside of tier 3, which is definitely something that's awesome to see. So I went and grabbed another bounty contract, and this time we're looking for a Mega Abomination, and the game was nice enough to oblige. So we got a thermite into our Mega Abomination to get things started and get him eager to come and attack. Now, again, there was a lot of riffraff around inside of tier 3 before I was able to get in and engage on our Mega Abomination. Now, this is something I like to do when dealing with bounty contracts that are Mega Abominations. When I'm inside of tier 3, I do play a lot of solo zombies for MW3, and in these cases, I like to make sure that the zombies, the dogs, all the stuff that's around in the area has been cleared out kind of before I get into my fight with my bounty contract, so that I can, you know, spend that time focusing my fire on my bounty contract, their critical shots, trying to make sure that I can complete that as quickly as possible and in the most efficient way. So for me, definitely getting rid of the zombies and, you know, all the riffraff that's around while you're getting ready to engage your bounty contract inside of tier 3 can definitely help out. Definitely. Also, your circuit turrets inside of tier 3 are incredibly overpowered, so keep a circuit turret board if you're coming into tier 3. I would highly recommend, so that you can use that to activate a circuit turret, which will definitely help take out your bounty contracts or any zombies in the area. And a nice little tip with the circuit turrets: while they are active and shooting, whichever weapon you have in your hands will be collecting weapon XP from the circuit turret kills. So that is awesome to know as well, and a great way to level up some weapons and get some XP on your guns. That's definitely a nice tip for sure. So here we are. We got our Mega Abomination and most of the riffraff out of the area. We got up some verticality, which allowed him to fire up his laser attack at me. I had to move back and forth here to avoid the meat, as for some reason the zombies throw meat when you're standing on that building. I'll never know why, because they can easily get up there, but they choose not to, and they choose to throw meat at you. So we had to move off of there, but our Mega Abomination is almost done. And I just wanted to say, like, I feel comfortable in Tier 3 using this. I know I'm going to be able to dish out the damage to the zombies that are in the area. With the heavy damage per shot, the ammo was a bit of an issue. Ammo reserves are 300 when you've got it max, so that is definitely a little bit low. But I did notice that having this hit as hard as it does, each bullet does substantial damage, so I wasn't really struggling too much with the ammo on this weapon. So let me know your thoughts on that down below. I do feel like 300 is a little low. I would have liked to see you know, maybe 500 on here for ammo reserve. That would have been good. We got some good loot out of our bounty contract, a sigil, which I'm going to stow, as I have members inside of our Zhorde Discord that need runs in the Dark Ether, and we're going to keep those to help them out. So that's why I did not go into the Dark Ether today. Also, just so you guys know, in the future to come, as we grab our last bounty contract of the day inside of Tier 3, I am doing solo runs for videos for Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3 of the Dark Ether. And eventually, I will be able to complete the Unstable Rift solo. I have yet to be able to do that solo, so that's definitely a challenge that is still in front of me to complete and knock out of the park. So you guys can look forward to those videos coming to the channel in the next few weeks. And here you can see just how strong this battle rifle is dealing with our Mimic bounty contract inside of Tier 3. Very strong, a very confident-inducing weapon to be using inside of Tier 3, as it is just so strong and so able to handle everything that comes at you. So, you know, as a whole, I feel that this weapon is definitely going to be a viable option for us to be using inside of our Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games across all 3 threat levels. Definitely going to be a viable option for sure. Now, down below in the comment section, let's work together to come up with a weapon build for the FTAC Recon that we can all be using inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. So we have an amazing build to be using on this weapon inside of our games that can help. So today's weapon, like I said, my build on this one was aimed towards reducing as much of that recoil as I possibly could. So this is the build that I put together for today's run. If you have any changes, like I said, you want to make, let's make those happen down in the comment section. And then we'll go through and show you guys the camo that we're running on this weapon, which was unlocked from completing the Get Higher event. So it's in your events, and if you scroll all the way over to the right, you will find it right there. It is the Synth Bust camo, and if you're wondering what the blueprint is that I was using for the FTAC Recon, I will show you that here at the end of the video, and thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you guys in the next one.